Welcome back to Life in Games. I'm Cam.
And I'm Carl.
And today we've got two very interesting stories for you.
Yes.
The first one being what's been going on in the news as far as Activision Blizzard goes.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is Pokemon Unite. How we feel about it, how we feel about the pay-to-win aspect of it, and all that good stuff. But before that, what you been playing, my friend?
What I've been playing is a whole lot of Magic, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I've been back on Magic a little bit more this week. Been having a lot of fun doing sealed and draft of Adventures in the Forgotten Realm on Arena and in paper, so that's been fun.
Adventures is the Dungeons & Dragons set, right?
Yep. Where Wizards of the Coast decided, we make Dungeons and Dragons, we also make Magic the Gathering. What if we just kinda now kiss? And yes, and it's been fun. It's a much more interesting limited format than it is for tournament play. So I've been having fun with that. Other than that, this morning while I was getting ready, I was playing Mega Man 10, and I just realized, I got the collection on Switch. And I had my Switch, and I figured, let's play something I haven't played in a while. And I'm not used to those brutal NES-era games anymore. Like, those Metroidvania style, you have to be super precise, and the enemies respawn if you, like, move out of frame for, like, a half a second and then come back. That didn't... Yeah. So
that was, like, a PS1 game, I think.
Was it? It definitely did not look like a PS1 game, but...
No, it was stylized.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they had gotten over some of that.
I'm not talking about X10. I'm talking about Mega Man 10.
Yeah. Like they had released, they changed the art style around 7 and 8, and then went back to the 8-bit stuff, 9 and 10, and then the newest one, which I think is 11, the one that just came out a few years ago, they went with that chibi 3D art style.
Yeah. So this is definitely an old one. This is the Legacy Collection. But anyways, I just was going through the Blade Man level and was actually kind of frustrated about having like just the way that the enemies were moving, and I was struggling because my first instinct on a lot of these is to kind of back up and shoot. But if you kill an enemy and you go forward and you want to back up and shoot the other one, the enemy you killed previously is going to respawn and come from behind you. So you have to be very much like forward focused and control when you go back, lest you respawn the enemies from the previous frames and have to contend with them as well. So it's very interesting. And I didn't...
Game design got away from that.
Yeah, dude, I am so glad. It's just after years of not being used to it, picking up Mega Man now, it's like, oh, I'm actually really bad at video games. Yeah, what about you? What have you been playing?
So, primarily been playing Pokemon Unite, which we'll get into later, but spoilers, I've been enjoying it. It's a fun. I'm a big MOBA fan. I love League of Legends. I played Arena of Valor with you guys for a little bit. I've tried out Smite. Gigantic was a big MOBA.
Oh, yeah.
I liked a lot. But this one, because I just love the Pokemon IP, big ups.
Very good.
I think we're going to start with the hottest news this week.
Yeah.
What are they going over in World of Warcraftville, Carl?
Yeah, World of Warcraftville and Call of Duty Land.
So Activision and Blizzard.
Right, because they're like in 2008, I think they merged to become Activision Blizzard. So the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing sued Activision Blizzard after a 2-year-long investigation into the company. They're alleging that women, in particular, were subject to constant sexual harassment and discrimination in the workplace.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's a pretty hefty allegations that are being thrown Blizzard's way, Activision and Blizzard's way. Very, very interesting stuff. So the lawsuit, which I have here, lists 10 causes of action. What's that?
A 2-year
A
investigation?
2 year long investigation, yeah. So it makes me wonder how that started. Whether it was employees that requested, that tipped things off, or maybe they were getting so many complaints.
So just for background here, just in case you don't know who Activision Blizzard is, if you've been living under a rock, the people that make World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft, Diablo, all of those nerd games, they merged with Activision, who's primarily known for Call of Duty at this point. They used to do Guitar Hero, they used to do, I think they did the Tony Hawk games initially too. They became one big entity. Oh, and they had Destiny for a while before Bungie broke off.
Yeah, I mean Crash Bandicoot and Spyro as well. They have a lot of
Oh, wow.
IP. Yeah.
Yeah, they're big. This is a big gaming company, so the idea that these women are being mistreated is, yeah, this is a heckin' chonker.
Yeah.
The entire state is like,
Yeah. So yeah, there was. I mean, everybody was. I don't know who. Like, if everybody was shocked, but I was certainly. I mean, it's just one of those things that I don't really think about. Like, what's the culture like behind the people who make, Blizzard? I just assume it's great because they always seem like they're having fun, on stage and whenever they're going BlizzCon. I just assume everything was great. I had no idea.
They always prioritize the fun in the game, so you
Yeah.
get that vibe too.
Yeah. But apparently, at least for women, it wasn't all fun and games because there are 10 causes of action from this lawsuit. Number 1, employment discrimination because of sex, compensation, employment discrimination because of sex, promotion.
Wait, so the compensation are different based on gender, or they're
So-
seeking compensation?
So what it seems like here is, yeah, they're being alleged to have paid women less for doing what's called substantially similar work.
That sucks.
So yeah, there was discrimination because of sex in that category, discrimination because of sex in the category of promotion. They were alleging that women were being promoted less frequently than their male counterparts. Employment discrimination.
Man, it's 2020.
What's that?
I thought we've gotten past all that. It's 2020.
It's 2021, but
Yeah, that.
that's a whole year later. Employment discrimination because of sex, termination. Apparently, female employees were getting let go at disproportionate rates. Employment discrimination because of sex, constructive discharge, which that one was a little weird. I had to look into what constructive discharge meant. But effectively, what they mean by that is by not offering equal promotions and raises and not as much opportunity, and of not preventing workplace harassment. That because of all those things, females were having to quit or leave their jobs.
The turnover was higher.
Constructively discharging because of just not being friendly. So that's what I understood that as. Employment discrimination because of sex, harassment, which grabbing and calling names and
Hey, sweetheart, come
yeah.
over here.
We want to be in the next.
Coffee
Oh goodness, yeah.
for the
All
boys.
of that, yeah. I need a pack of Lucky Stripes and a sandwich, please.
Yeah.
Number 6 was retaliation. So, female employees who were reporting these things were getting were facing retaliation.
They popped the whistleblowers.
Yeah, so which retaliation can take the form of anything like if you complain about management or something, or you bring up an issue, retaliation could be considered your manager starts treating you differently, or maybe doesn't give you certain opportunities anymore that had been coming, behavior changes after bringing up issues. It doesn't have to be like they fired you or wrote you up or anything. It can be other forms of retaliation. So I'm sure there was a lot of that going on. Failure to
place around pretty much the entire working industry. I mean, people are human.
Yeah.
They have feelings about things, and they're driven by their decisions.
Yeah.
But that compounded with all these other issues, bruh.
Yeah.
All right, what's number 10?
Number 7 is failure to prevent discrimination and harassment. This was on behalf of the group, so on behalf of the females or the employees. And then number 8 is the same thing on behalf of the Department of Fair. What is it? Department of Fair Employment and Housing.
It is the state of California, right? Like their
Yes.
legal department. That's
Yep.
crazy. Could you imagine starting a company and being sued by a whole state?
Well, it's the department. It's not the whole state.
No, but they've got the backing of the whole state.
Well, they've got
the state of California versus.
right. So yeah, that's insane. Number 9 is just unequal pay, and then number 10 is waiver of rights, forums, or procedures, and release of claims.
What does that mean?
So getting into that, basically, there are things called, what are they called? Mandatory arbitration clauses in employment contracts. That basically means you can't sue if you feel wronged about your compensation or terms of employment. You have to go. You can't go to the court system. You have to go through like a third-party mediator or something like that.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so after that, so the lawsuit was sent or filed, and then Activision Blizzard employees staged a walkout in response.
To support
The lawsuit.
Lawsuit?
Yep. Right. So they started, I guess the lawsuit kicked off, or maybe whoever was organizing the walkout was kind of, I would be surprised if they weren't sort of in the know about the lawsuit or the investigation a little bit.
They must understand the culture.
Yeah. Exactly. So they, on Wednesday the 28th, organized a walkout at 10 a.m. And then they did an online protest for those who were like either remote or couldn't make it at 9 a.m.
Turn your monitor off.
Yeah. No. I guess it was just sign into this room. I didn't follow it or figure out how it did. How it worked.
Report to the Zoom meeting.
Right.
Got him.
Got him. Well, I mean, that's part of it. So you should have seen pictures. There were so many people out there with signs just protesting. I think it was over 100 people.
Whoa.
And employees and friends and supporters. I think there were past employees as well.
And I'm pretty sure California is unionized, right? Like, that's not a right-to-work state. You know?
I don't know.
I have to assume they're very liberal on a lot of their laws, whereas we here in old Georgia, if you decide to do this, they will fire you.
Yeah.
No repercussion.
So there's no right-to-work law in California, according to Google. So,
okay.
Which doesn't surprise me at all. So that being said, I bet these protesters probably feel a little bit more protected, because if that were to happen in Georgia, like you said, I'm sure they would just, okay, everybody who's out there, okay, you're all fired.
Steamroller.
Right. And then, of course, the state of Georgia would be like, yeah, that's fair. I mean, they weren't at work. I don't know there's nothing in their contracts. Right.
You work, or you fire.
Right. So, yeah. So I mean, it's just it's insane. There was a lot. I mean, according to this lawsuit, the things that were happening in Activision Blizzard are absolutely just insane. They were talking about these things called cube crawls, where they would get drunk and crawl through cubes and grope women as they're crawling through their cubicles. Yeah, craziness stuff going on.
Crawl?
Hey, I don't know exactly. Maybe
creep.
I crawl and I creep. I don't. There's no videos or anything. It was just explaining. The craziest thing that caught my attention was that apparently there were some Activision Blizzard employees at a conference or something, and they had a hotel, and they named the hotel the Cosby Suite, and they all got together and took a picture of a cutout of Bill Cosby inside the hotel.
Before all of his accusations come out, do we know?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was after, but let me just double check. But why in the hell would everybody get together and make a Cosby Suite room?
It's like how to incriminate yourself 101. Photographs.
So let's see here. Oh wait, hold on. It's a former World of Warcraft developer posing with a portrait of Bill Cosby at BlizzCon 2013.
Okay, so this was before.
Yeah, so I don't know why they brought that up.
I mean, probably because of the confusion it can create. I mean, we thought, oh no, they're being scummy, but at the time, nobody knew anything about Bill Cosby. They're just like, oh, he's the pudding pop guy. He's my favorite grandpa. Nick at Night, you know.
Yeah.
And then, Oh God.
Right. So I think, yeah, this, I mean, first off, I want to say that if, obviously, there is so much evidence, or not evidence, but so much testimony, and of course, the California had a Department of Fair Employment and Housing investigated them for 2 years and found this. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, there's something going wrong at Activision Blizzard. That being said, pulling up a picture of someone with, liking or enjoying Bill Cosby from 2013 when nobody had any idea what he was doing, or at least the vast majority of people didn't know what he was doing, and using that as some sort of like evidence of their, predatory nature or what have you, is a little cheap. And I feel like that's I mean, there's enough facts. Obviously, there's enough facts, right? There's enough actual evidence of, sexual harassment. You don't need to pull up this kind of cheap stuff just for,
They're
emphasis.
their argument by doing that.
Yeah.
I was just sticking to the facts and being like, this is real. Instead, they're being like,
Look,
if we throw this.
Bill Cosby exists. They liked Bill Cosby once upon a time, like everybody else did. Like, what?
No.
Right? So, okay. But anyways, speaking of the actual wrongdoing, lots of...
They have demands in the
Yeah.
walkout?
So, yeah, they listed 4 demands. One is to remove mandatory arbitration clauses from employment contracts, giving them the ability to sue if they feel wronged with like hiring contracts and payments. So basically, if you get hired on and you sign this contract and you find out that, your male counterpart is in the same position, but his contract is significantly different than yours, I'm saying in that situation, you would be able to sue. If, for example, if you found out that you guys both have the same experience, or maybe the female has more, same title, but he's getting paid $10,000 extra or something like that, you can sue with those arbitration clauses removed. Which, great. Adopt policies to improve diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is great depending on what the policies are and how they're implemented. Like heavy affirmative action can be a detriment to the company as a whole, because
you're choosing people.
Well, you want diversity, equity, and inclusion. You do. You want those things. I don't care who you are. You want those things because they're better for everything.
The
culture. They're better for sharing ideas. They're better for generating ideas. They're better for... I mean, it's just better. But forcing it at the expense of talent is not the solution.
No.
So it's a tricky thing. It's a very tricky thing.
Imagine getting hired because you have to meet some quota. Like, if I was like an Asian American person and I applied for a position, I got it just because I was Asian American, I'd feel really bad about that.
I would not, but that's just me. Got the job. I don't care. Look, at the end of the day, I'm trying to get a job. And hey, if people want to give me the job because I've got brown skin, I wanted the job, I got the job. I don't care. Now, I mean, if you're treated like... I don't know, it depends. If you're treated like, oh, you're just here because you're black, or you're just here because you're a woman afterwards, yeah, that feels gross.
You're the Tolkien.
The Tolkien, yeah. If you're treated like the Tolkien, then sure. But I don't know, man. If I'm trying to get a job at a high-paying company that's very competitive, and they're like, we need more black folks, I'm gonna throw on a do-rag and a grill, crip walk my way up into that bitch and say, yo, what up? Give me a job, dude. Affirmative action for real. But that's one of those, like, hate the game, not the player. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's fair. But still, I just hate the idea that there is any sort of umbrella trying to pull these pieces together based on those factors as opposed to the quality of the employees.
Well, I mean, the second demand is adopt policies to improve diversity. So improve being the word. So it's not like, I'm hoping they don't mean to make it the prime directive of the company. But I mean, I agree. They could have better... So what does it look like to improve diversity, equity, and inclusion without, making too many sacrifices to your business? One, obviously, get rid of your misogynistic and sexual harassment culture in the workplace. Great. Start with
Cube
that.
crawl.
You
Sounds
maybe don't do
kinda-
drunken cube crawls. That's right. So 2 is make it. I mean, it's all about accessibility, right? Because you don't want. You're gonna look for other people. Of like maybe if you're all white and Asian males, you're gonna at least figure out where you're gonna look for people who aren't like you.
Yeah.
So that's
Again,
one thing. Yeah.
We like diversity, but forcing it is weird. I can just see it going either way. They could do it in smart way of just like, unfortunately,
Getting rid of the barriers, those psychic barriers. Like, obviously, having that kind of an environment is a barrier. So I think removing barriers and maybe providing a little bit of like outreach, but labor laws are labor laws. Discrimination is discrimination. Whenever you're talking about hiring someone based off of their sex or gender or ethnicity, it doesn't matter if you're not hiring them because of these factors or hiring them with that being the deciding factor. That is still hiring on the basis of sex, gender, and again, I don't want to say that there can't be efforts to improve those the diversity, but when it comes down to hiring decisions, like you have to hire based off of quality. Who can you perform the job? Are you reliable enough? So if you remove the barriers, those people will come of the diverse, those of the different groups. There will be more women if there are less barriers for women in the company. Maybe don't. There will be more African Americans if there is less of a barrier. And so the culture, I think, is going to be the biggest thing because people will apply.
This may be like an initial overcorrection just to try and course correct.
Yeah.
Like, which, you've educated me several times on how important that is to try and make up for all the years of the bullshit.
Right, just the long-lasting effects that people don't really understand, I think.
Yeah, well, we don't think about it, You think like, me person, I see everyone equally. We grew up in a generation where racism, that's just what grandpa does, Like, but those people still exist. There is all those inherent biases where it's like, I'd rather hire a male because he can lift more or what have you. And overcorrecting a little bit just to try and center that up, it makes sense for the moment.
Right. So not all policies and procedures need to be permanent, but it's like, hey, if people need a hand, it's like, well, you got to give that person a hand. Like, for example, if you're walking with 4 friends and one of them falls down, you reach out your hand and pick them up. Right. I mean, okay, so you're giving that person a little bit more attention. You don't pick them up and put them on your back and carry them, but just for that moment, they needed the extra help. So you reached out your hand, you got down and picked them up, and then once they're back on their feet, you let go. And that's how, social laws need to be implemented, is for the time being, this, group who is having a heck of a time of it needs some help. We give them some help, and once they get back on their feet, you let go. You're like, okay, you're good. And so you roll those kind of policies back.
Equity in pursuit of equality.
Yeah.
I think is the best way to put it.
Right.
But anyway, what else do they do? They got any verdicts? They got any court dates?
The last 2 demands before we move on. So we did remove arbitration clauses, adopt policies to improve diversity, equity, and inclusion. 3 is publish compensation data, promotion rates, and salary ranges for employees of all genders and ethnicity. So they want that data public so they can compare.
That's so weird. Like it's just so out of the norm for the workspace. Typically in the past, it's like, hey, I'm gonna give you a raise, but just don't tell that guy.
Well, my company has something similar. So there is a standard range of payments for each position. So we can actually look up all the positions in the company, and it'll tell you the minimum pay for this position is this much, the maximum pay for this position is this much. And I assume it would be something like that, to where you could say, well, I am this, this position, I could look at the chart and say, okay, I should be getting paid around this much. Or if maybe the thing that I think about is, if you are getting paid, let's just throw out numbers, for developers, $90,000 a year. and the cap at your position is $110,000 a year or something. If you look over at someone who's maybe slightly senior than you and see that they're making $120,000 a year, you can say, well, is that fair? Let's look at the chart and say, well, he's this position, so he's right above my cap. So therefore, he does make more money. Then you can see if you want to, talk to your boss, try to get that promotion of that other position, and see what goes from there. So I think that it will eliminate a lot of confusion and highlight if anyone is getting paid unfairly.
I don't think additional transparency is a bad thing. It's actually usually beneficial because it creates that, like in my working environment, once people realize what the higher positions make, it makes them want to pursue that. And by pursuing that, they then work harder. They, want to do more so that they can move up because they're chasing the almighty dollar.
Right. Well, there's goals, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want to get those promotions. Got to get them good brain juices of the success. And that's a good way to do it, is by being transparent.
Right. And then, lastly, they want to hire a third party to audit the company's structure, human resources department, and executives, which I believe already happened. Okay. The Blizzard CEO hired this law firm to, I believe, take a look at their HR department, but the protesters said that wasn't enough. They want to do full-on, audit.
Full third party, the head of the company can't hire him.
Right. So, those are the 4 demands. And on top of that, the creators, streamers, and YouTubers were asking people to not, though, the streamers did the brave act of not posting on social media the entire time of the walkout. So, truly stunning and brave. I say that with a tongue-in-cheek a little bit.
Like these people's livelihoods. If you just said, "Hey, I'm not going to go to work, therefore not going to get paid."
Yeah.
I mean, and that's one thing. Like I had heard about that part of it, and a lot of people were poking fun, like, "Oh no, I can't play a WoW today." But really, these people—that's how they make money. They're entertainers. Yeah. And if you tell them, "Hey, you can't do the entertaining today," it's gonna hurt them financially.
Yeah. I don't know. I just always picture like actors and actresses whenever some social issue goes on, they always have to find a way to make it about them. Like they always have to get on some sort of commercial like, "The Thing is bad. Hi, I'm famous actor and I agree the thing is bad. And you need to look at my face when I tell you that I think things should change." And that's kind of the vibe I was getting from the streamers. And we're like, "Hey, we're not going to be posting on social media. Thing is bad. Look at me."
Yeah, it's self-promotion.
I just feel like, I don't know. And I don't mean, and I know there's probably a lot of very genuine people who felt like what they were doing was like in genuine solidarity. But it's like, what is not posting on social media going to do?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you just talked about it, right?
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Fair enough.
Forces the issue.
So you're saying by not posting on social media, people will be talking about why they're not posting on social media?
They also didn't stream, right? So any Blizzard
I think they just weren't doing Blizzard. Yeah, there was a Blizzard boycott, which I think is more effective than not. That's the effective part. The not posting on social media doesn't seem to it's like, okay, that didn't do anything. Not playing the games, not logging into Battle.net or Activision. What if Activision, do they have are all the Activision games just on Battle.net?
Yeah. I think they're also on Steam now because they were like, "This Battle.net thing not work."
I see. That's
Call of Duty and WoW in the same space.
Yeah, that's the actual action right there. Boycotting the games and not going to work. That's civil, civil. Yeah, exactly. But bravely not posting on social media is fucking. You did it. You helped so much. Okay. Yes, exactly it.
Rest after pay respects.
All right. Did you hear? The popular streamer wasn't on Twitter for like 6 hours.
Oh my god.
They got him. Activision Blizzard is feeling that one, boys.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So they weren't going to agree to the terms of the suit, but then I don't even know any popular Blizzard streamers. And then PewDiePie didn't post a tweet for 2 hours, and they were like, "Oh man, can't have that."
Who? Okay, you watched Overwatch streams?
Or Kripparrian. He was he's the Hearthstone guy. So yeah, Activision Blizzard wasn't gonna audit their company and remove mandatory arbitration clauses, but then Crip wasn't streaming Hearthstone for a day, and
he's playing Among Us. Hit the button.
We'll do anything, Crip. Just don't. Actually, I wonder what Kripparrian had to say about it. Actually, that's one of the guys that I didn't get his opinion.
I don't know. Blizzard has had a rough go at it the past couple of years because of all the. You remember the North Korea or South Korea stuff going on? I'm not going to go into it all here, but they've had a lot of controversy the past couple of years about just how their company supports stuff and all that. So, were the demands met? Do you know?
Not that I know of. I think they're still kind of figuring things out. It's only been a few days.
Mm-hmm.
So
walkout, what, Thursday?
It was Wednesday, the 28th.
Wednesday. Okay. So it just happened. By the time you see this, if you're watching it on Monday, last Wednesday is when all this really hit the fan, and it's still going on.
So, Crip, his stream schedule on his Twitter, which was posted July 28th, still has Hearthstone Saturday and Sunday. He's playing a lot of... Yeah, but I just, didn't know if he was in solidarity. Was he just not going to stream? Huh?
It was just for the one day. Oh, you saying on the schedule?
I thought they were going to... It was 2 days, Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Hey, baby doll. If you can hear anything in the background, it's my lovely daughter. She has woken up.
Yeah, fun fact, we have kids, bro.
Children, they're things. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. What do you make of all this? Like, did you expect this from Blizzard, Activision? And now that you know this, like, how is that going to affect your view of the company?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I mean, I try to separate all of that and look at products as what they are, as products, like not necessarily the people that make them. That's a personal choice. I don't want to like go to the store and be like, I'd like to purchase this soda, but is the CEO like sexist? It's not something I think about. I'm usually like, is the product good? All right, bet. But I do feel bad that these things are happening, and I guarantee you this is going to be the first of many, many companies. This is blazing the path for them to push all forward.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I'm reading this lawsuit, and I've come to the conclusion that if you are a company and your leadership is mostly white and male, no matter what you do, no matter what your culture's like, you will not have that sort of structure. You're going to have a bad time. There will be lawsuits because some of these clauses in this lawsuit were just like, and they just mentioned, okay, here we go. Unlike its customer base of increasingly diverse players, defendant's workforce is only about 20% women. Its top leadership is also exclusively male and white.
Oof.
So it was brought up specifically in the lawsuit.
That's brutal.
The CEO and president roles are now and have always been held by white men. Very few women ever reach top roles of the company. So they're very much like, if you're mostly white men, you gotta get ahead of the curve. You gotta find the most qualified woman or person that is not a white man you can find. Get the high quality. There's plenty of them out there.
Diversify your leadership.
Exactly. There's plenty of high quality people out there. You just got to find them. And high quality people are rare to begin with. And there's another thing. It's tricky because if you go by population, right, the majority of the population in the United States is white. High quality, high caliber workers are rare to begin with. And so that way, the smaller the population, right, the fewer, just generally on average, your pool of high quality, high caliber, like, can work $100,000, a year job, 70, 80 hours a week. The people that will do that, there's just not that many of them relatively. And so it's tricky. And I'm not saying it's undoable or that it's not worthwhile, but like, you also have to understand, like, things end up the way they do, not often, not always, because of strict racism. Which, again, I admit that not admit, I recognize, I recognize that, FBI swaps in, that there's undoubtedly tons of discrimination, but, like, if we're going to solve the problem, you have to think about it holistically, how the problem occurred.
Yeah.
And then, like, in a real way, like, not thinking of it as a manifestation of some, malevolent design. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that, bias and discrimination is just kind of like habit almost, and just a lack of experience. So rather than there being some guy pulling puppet strings and like, forget the women in blacks, it's just it's a progression of just natural, not natural, but
culture, because the indoctrination of the way things have been in the workforce forever at this point, it needs to change.
Right.
The best way to do that is to force the change now, and then figure the rest out.
Sure. So, white male CEOs, diversify your assets. The CYA, cover your ass, because it's gonna happen.
Okay, if I'm the president of this giant company, I don't want the people on my inner circle to have the same views as me. That just doesn't make sense.
Well, that's diversity of ideas.
Have insight on something I have no idea about. How do we reach people of different walks of life? You pull their representatives and figure out the best way to do that.
Oh yeah,
right.
I mean, that's the optimal way to do it, right? Rather than creating like a fraternity culture, like is alleged in the lawsuit.
Yeah, that's gross. Oh, and real quick fact: everybody out there who told or messaged us about the show and said, "Don't get too political," you can eat my butt. Life is political.
He said it like that, boys and girls.
Yeah, but
he said, "Eat my butt." Yeah, I don't really think this is politics, though. I think this is just social issues. It's like not a partisan issue.
You're gonna have people on the other side of it. It's political.
What other side? Like,
the system's fine. Old
I mean,
white Joe.
what other side is there? It's like, do you treat people equally or not? It's like how you do it. Maybe can get political, but I mean, okay. So if somebody is to get triggered or political about this, it's gonna be on the minutia. Like we're starting baseline. Like, at the base of things, two people who do the same job and work at the same company, do they deserve to be comfortable to the extent which is reasonable? Do they deserve to be treated fairly and paid the same for doing the same work? It's like, who's against that? Like honestly,
Well,
I am for unequal pay for women. I am for discrimination. Who?
I've heard, from my personal experience, the way things have been, the old boy, this guy's been here for a long time, he gets the promotion mentality is
that's seniority. Seniority is that's a whole different thing.
But okay, somebody I'm close to was explaining to me how their company had changed how their company share works, or what's the payout situation? What's it called?
Oh, I know what you're talking. Dividends.
Yeah, like
stocks.
When the company makes a profit, it pays the employees
bonuses.
A bonus.
Yeah, I think it's dividends if you have stock. I'm not entirely sure.
But they had shifted their policy away from giving it all to the people that had been there the longest and evenly distributing it amongst every employee. And the hads, like the people that had been there for a long time, they're like, oh, they're taking my stuff away to give it to so-and-so who just started. And that's the problem. People are looking at it as entitlement, right? Like if you're used to this culture where it's like, I get in good with my boss, I have all the prerequisites necessary, I should be entitled to certain positions, as opposed to somebody who may be more qualified.
Well, here's a quote. When you're accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression.
Yeah, there you go.
In other gaming news, Pokemon Unite there's been a lot of criticism on the game about its pay-to-win or seemingly pay-to-win features. I admittedly have not been as into Pokemon Unite as I had wanted to be, time constraints and such. But you've been playing a lot of it recently.
I have.
So
Okay.
what's going on with this pay-to-win thing?
So the deal with the pay-to-win thing is just like any MOBA. When you enter the game, your character level outside of the game, like your account level, it should not directly affect what happens in game. The whole point is you start at level 1 in the game. You've got a 10-minute match. You level up your Pokemon throughout the course of the game, and whether you win or lose, it gets reset. Just like, think about like Fortnite, how you drop in with nothing. Any of those games, everybody starts at 0, and it's supposed to be like a fair battleground.
Yeah.
The problem therein lies with there are these items outside of the game called held items that you can give to your Pokemon. That it works similarly to items in League of Legends that you would buy, and they're Pokemon themed. So like the Assault Vest. The Assault Vest makes it so that you have increased special defense, right? The problem is there's a currency in this game that you spend to level these up, and they can go up to level 30.
Okay.
And of course, the higher level of the item, the more stat beneficials you get. You can, in a roundabout way, spend actual real-world dollars to buy this currency to level up these items.
Okay.
So if you're going strictly free-to-play, you probably got your Pokemon can hold 3 of them. So you probably, me personally, I've got pretty much all of the items at level 10. That's how much currency I've gotten from being free-to-play.
Right.
But somebody could go in, buy the gems, convert them, and just level all their stuff up to 30, they will have an inherent advantage. And that's what people are concerned about. I will say in practice,
you still have to be good at the game?
Yeah, it's not an auto win. It's not, I mean, it's beneficial. Don't get me wrong. It could be one auto attack that separates you in an engagement, but if you suck, you still suck.
Right.
You have to have good map awareness. You have to know how to use your Pokemon, know what their abilities do, know what the opponent is capable of, be aware of when you can score. All of that stuff still matters a ton.
Yeah.
I do wish this was not the case, but it is what it is.
So all things equal, 2 players being equal, the one that spent more money is probably going to win, a higher percentage of the time if they get into like team fights and things like that. I understand that. So let me ask you this: how much money does it take to get on average an item up to level 30, and you have 3 items, like actual currency?
Because as the item scales up in level, it then costs more of this currency to upgrade it. In the beginning, to get to level 10 is like 100 coins, I think.
So
less than that.
If an average game is $60, what can you get if you just pay Switch game price? Spend $60. Are you there?
You will not have a maxed out account.
You will not have a maxed out. Would you even have one item?
Oh yeah. I think you could probably get like 2 or 3 for that. But
2 or 3 items like at level 30?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
If you main one Pokemon, you're set. But whenever you enter a game, you run that risk of somebody snatching that bad boy up.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Really difficult to just be like, I play only this. But other than that, the game's been incredibly fun. I mean, it's for those of us that like the MOBAs, all our Smite fans, and plenty of people love League of Legends.
Oh yeah,
there are those weird Dota people in the corner,
like Gabe.
All those folks that were like, "Hero of the Storm is the future," and don't play it anymore. Looking at you, Carl.
What? When did I ever say Heroes of the Storm was the future? I don't think
Heroes of the Storm.
I love it, but I never claimed it was the future.
Nah. But
it was too clunky.
That game was fun. It was a fun game, and they wanted to do competitive stuff with it. And that's what I feel.
Not all games have to be esports. Hey, look at me. Not all games have to be esports. Look at me. Hey, stop typing. Not all games have to be esports. Like, that's a whole nother topic for another day. Fun in video games.
So the thing I like about Pokemon Unite is its size. Like with League of Legends, biggest problem was the time commitment.
Yep.
You sit down, it could be 15 minutes to an hour. You really had no idea
Nope.
because of how the pace of the game went.
Mhm.
Whereas in Pokemon Unite, every single match is 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Or less.
Or less. Oh, if they... Yeah. You can quit, and that's true. So, yeah. That's I mean, yeah. That's a huge benefit, is being able to just know, like, okay, I've got an hour, I can get, let's say 4 games in, with including time in between matches. Perfect, right? That's so great. And the stress of like being in a half-hour long game, having at a standstill, you don't want to quit because you're on ranks. It's like, oh my god, yeah.
What's worse is in those League of Legends games or like those MOBA games where you are losing, but they can't close, and you've got those 2 guys on the team that just refuse to concede.
Yeah.
Then you get the people just running it down and feeding, and it just becomes toxic. Whereas this, it's in and out.
Yeah.
You just go next. Do better next time.
It's so great.
It's been really fun. And, I mean, there are some complaints I have with the game. I mean, it's a little janky at times.
Oh, yeah?
Which for the Pokemon company is a little... I mean, I guess it's not that weird, but...
I mean,
certain animations triggering incorrectly or sound effects not popping properly. The character select screen is trash.
Is it?
Yeah.
I never really...
So much lag trying to switch characters.
Yeah. Hopefully that can just be improved with software updates. And I'm hoping that once it comes out for tablets, because honestly, I'll probably be more of an iPad player than a Switch player. Just because I came from Vainglory a lot. I played a lot of Vainglory and Arena of Valor on tablets, and I much prefer to play MOBAs with touch, just because you can get super accurate. It's either, mouse and keyboard and touch are way better than controller MOBAs. Controller is my least favorite way to play a MOBA.
I actually been digging it, just because I like stick movement on a character. It feels more, I don't know. I've never been into I'm not a mobile gamer. I don't like touchscreen games. It's a huge turnoff for me. So this on a console works.
Fair enough.
That we've been having a lot of fun with the boys, and it's been a while since we've been able to do that. So,
since like Arena of Valor, actually.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what I was saying the first day we played. It's like every time a new MOBA comes out for the Switch, everybody gets together and plays it.
And the game is free.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to give it a shot, try it out. I mean, you get Zeraora, a character, for straight up free. They do a good job of breadcrumbing you without making you feel like you have to buy anything, which is really cool. I like that a lot, because with the gold you get, you're guaranteed to be able to buy at least one character, whichever one you want.
Yeah.
And if you log in consecutive days, they give you characters like I just got Cinderace and Crustle, and I'm getting close to being able to get Greninja.
Nice. So they're very generous.
Surprisingly so. But there is some hooks with the monetization, like skins. That's typical.
Yep. For a free-to-play game especially. Free-to-play games are almost always pay-to-win to some degree, and they're always going to try to milk every bit of cash from you in every other aspect of the game that you can. It's just one of those things that the money's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I've been enjoying it, and like I said, the short sample size is just 10 minutes in and out. Gotta go pee. The boys go play. You get some food. You come back. You're in for the next one.
Right. Oh, that's another benefit to the time, because like if you had to go do something for like 10 minutes, you had to run to the store, you had to do something, man. You're waiting for possibly another hour, and then you have to make that calculus. It's like, well, do I start another game? I don't know. I mean, with Pokemon Unite, if you step away, and you have to step away for a couple minutes, you can come back and say, hey guys, I'm going to start another game. Maybe they'll have to wait for 2 minutes after their game ends, 5 minutes after their game ends.
Right.
And that's an easy wait. Yeah.
And, if you're going to go out for dinner with you and your wife, you and your partner, whoever it may be,
you can play Pokemon Unite at the dinner table in the middle of in the Arby's.
I was gonna say, when she says she's ready, you've got time for like 2 or 3 matches. So
yeah, exactly. Like, all right, I'm getting ready. Bet. While you're doing your hair,
we're good. Clean shirt. Let's go. Hop on Discord.
Yep.
But there's plenty of good content out there for it too. The way the game is set up, with It's very League of Legends with the special attack being very similar to magic damage and attack damage. All that stuff is laid over, and the way the game functions, like the way you win, you're dunking on them.
Literally.
Baskets.
Doosh. I love it.
It's not. There's no little creeps coming up the lane. There's no turrets. No nexus. It's good. Go.
Yeah, it's great. It's like it's defense. It's sports. It's more sports. Cool. And then you have the jungle creeps.
Shields.
Yeah.
And Snorlax and Mr. Mime are both like really good, and all they do is just say, "We don't do that here."
Yeah, I really want to play Mr. Mime next. That's my next guy. I like Crustle and Mr. Mime. I like those characters that can throw up walls and really just Crustle crowd control. Really, Crustle's my favorite so far.
The damage.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, an attacker alone? Crunch.
Right. You're dead now.
Yeah. They just released their first extra character being Gardevoir. She's really weird because it takes her forever to get to Gardevoir. But when you do, she hits like a truck.
Oh, really? Like Wigglytuff?
Wigglytuff's a support.
But doesn't his double...
early. Yeah. Slap, just
cool.
A lot of cool characters. I'm excited to see more. The next character coming out, it's your boy Blastoise as a tank.
Yeah, complete the starters.
Because that's one complaint I have about the game is they very clearly focused on the offensive Pokemon. You know, Overwatch has the same problem. Everybody wants to play the attack role, and you've got like the character selection screen is this big for the attackers, and then it's like tanks and supports.
Yeah, they
need to fix that.
I agree.
In the game and 3 tanks and then like 14 attacking Pokemon.
That's what I said. In the game, I predicted that you were going to see at least like the same 3 Pokemon in every single match. And
pretty much. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. People don't play tank and support because it's not fun. They look at it from the screw the team. I need the kill.
Right, my KDI or whatever.
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter. Kills do nothing for you.
They just open up the zone. You know, you can score.
You need to score. That's the point. That's why like super duper fast characters that can just pop out of the jungle and score real quick. They're good.
Yep.
The best character in the game at this point, I believe, is Gengar, and he is a speedster.
Yep. Very quick.
Broken. I don't know if you heard about all that.
Yeah, I've been seeing Gengar needs to be nerfed.
Yeah, it's because so his ultimate makes him invulnerable. If you take the combination of Sludge Bomb and Hex, Sludge Bomb poisons them, which is like, all right, fine. You get hit with an attack, you're poisoned for a little bit. Sure. But Hex, it teleports you to whatever you're using it on. And if whatever you're teleporting to is affected by a status condition, it refreshes the cooldown instantly. So if you poison them and then Hex them, you can get 3 or 4 Hexes in for free.
Wow.
And it does every time you use it.
That's insane.
He is a Ooga Booga special attack boy. So
yeah.
You just stack attack and...
He's going to get nerfed. There's no way that sticks around.
And then if you start getting in danger, you pop your ultimate and you're invincible. And you run away.
That's so good. That's so good. I wanted to be a Gengar main, but, I mean, he's just going to get nerfed. I'm going to have to figure out how to play him again. Depending on how they nerf him.
You want to hear something sad? You know what the 2 worst Pokemon in the game are?
Let me guess. Charizard and who else? Probably Venusaur.
Dang, you nailed it, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are the 2 weakest Pokemon in the game because it takes forever to evolve them, and they are not particularly good at any one particular task. You know, like
I noticed.
Lucario.
Yeah.
Lucario is just great early on. If you've played League, he's Lee Sin. You pick him to dominate early to help your team get ahead, and then he falls off late game. These Pokemon that evolve twice, that are 3 stages, they're usually weak early, and then they scale up and become strong. Gengar, Gardevoir, Charizard, and Venusaur, their spike isn't high enough for them to be competitively viable.
That makes sense because who's going to pick Charizard and Venusaur mostly, like, right? Kids, right? I mean,
Charizard is like kind of the most popular Pokemon ever, aside from maybe Pikachu.
Pikachu is definitely more popular than.
Yeah, but of people who actually know what a Pokemon is, if they can name more than Pikachu, they like Charizard.
Yeah, Charizard's definitely coming right after Pikachu. It probably goes something like Charizard, Pikachu, and then like who's number 3? Lugia, maybe Lucario. No, I'm talking about. I mean, but as far as like the OG, the millennials, people.
Mewtwo.
Yeah, Mewtwo's probably going to be the third. Mew or Mewtwo. So it's probably going to go Pikachu, Charizard, Mewtwo, and then from there. And then, yeah, pretty much, right? I mean, they picked those characters for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. Got Pikachu.
Oh, he's flexing his amiibo collection, everybody.
Pikachu, Charizard. There's Lucario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jigglypuff's up here. Jigglypuff's a popular one.
Oh, yeah.
They were in the first.
She was also in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm really excited. So, speaking of Pokemon Unite, you've got some pretty good news about Pokemon Unite, don't you?
Yeah. I'm not ready to quite get into it, but pay attention next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening to this and, you like the show, you like us, you want to see us do more outside of just the pod and pre-recorded stuff, want to see some live stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This upcoming Friday, the 7th, 6th, whatever it is. What is
it? It is definitely the 6th.
The 6th. There you go. Pay attention. And I've got some exciting stuff coming up.
Cool.
So, gonna expand the Life and Games family.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fun, boys.
Fun in the bun.
If you made it to this part of the video, you're a real one.
Yeah.
And I respect you. So I hope to see you when we do the thing.
Pay attention. Until next time. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff. What's the YouTube stuff?
Well, we know you're already subscribed.
Might as well. If you haven't, go ahead, just do it. It's okay.
Yeah. It really does help us out. I mean, especially once we get to that 100, buddy. Which we're so close. We're at 90, I think.
So
89,
close.
90. Man.
Right there.
Right there. And then we get it. YouTube.com/Laughing Games.
Laughing Games. All right. Well, until next time, everybody. Bye-bye. Peace.
You wouldn't get the way I live, 'cause I get lost in oblivion. It's not the way that I want to live, but sometimes it's all that makes me want to live.